Hello, car lovers driving the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia Limited. I always have to read off the paper, Ross's paper, for the names of cars. It's never simple anymore, and I just can't keep up with it. What to say about this vehicle? First, a quick overview. The 2025 Toyota Crown Signia is a mid-size station wagon. Standard is all-wheel drive, a 240 net horsepower hybrid 4-cylinder engine with a combined fuel economy of 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers or 38 miles per gallon. There are 21-inch wheels and a 2-meter long cargo area. Toyota says this has a quiet interior. I would characterize it as above average quiet but not exceptional. Accord just as good for less money. In Canada, there is the standard package at nearly $60,500, and for an additional $2,000, you get puddle lamps, parking assist, lane change assist, and traffic jam assist, among other electronic goodies. I say get the all-equipped one. Standard is the JBL sound system, 12-inch infotainment, wireless CarPlay and auto, dynamic cruise, active noise control, dual-zone climate control, 8-way leather seats that are heated and ventilated, and heated leather steering wheel. This is a complete package in terms of core luxury and is built in Japan, making it a fair trade vehicle. The looks, the interior space, the fuel economy, and general competency are Signia's strong points. Its weaknesses are that it's priced like a Highlander and the interior is monochrome. So we're back. This is the successor, spiritual successor to the Toyota Avalon, a vehicle that I thought was quite good, that did the job. They didn't sell many of them. What to say about this vehicle? Well, before we had like this sedan-y, hatchback-y, weren't quite sure what it was, Crown. Then they came out with this wagon, which I think is way better looking. Very nice, boxy yet stylish shape on the outside. Huge 21-inch wheels for those of you who like to knock their heads on the wall, changing those crazy expensive tires. Well, everybody wants them, so fair enough, fair enough. However, I would say with this kind of shape, I'm getting average window visibility, right? It's always when you're driving these utilitarian, I want to say functional vehicles, you always want a little bit of a friendly window, right? And what does that mean? A big window that lets you see the corners and everything. I would say here it's average, here it's average. Rear 3/4 is pretty good, and the rear is actually quite good. So that's what I have to say about the visibility. Of course, I think the star of the show is the propulsion system, right? The Toyota hybrid propulsion system. I've been saying it as long as I've been doing car reviews that this is just Toyota's excellence coming forward. And what I like to do when I'm reviewing these hybrid systems, I don't think people realize just how good they've become in terms of it's not just when you're at the stop sign or that you're braking that this thing turns off in a kind of like rough way. These are super smooth players, and I like to do this on-off with the engine. So like the engine is now off, on, off, it's good for the urban cycle that you see just exactly how little the gas engine comes on. On, off, on, off, on, off. So that gives you an idea, right? I mean, it's off most of the time in the urban cycle. And don't forget, right now, the way circulation is in the greater Montreal area, right? We've had the same roads now for 50 years, yet we have more drivers. What do you think happens? Well, of course, you're going to have traffic even on the highway. I come from Saint Jérôme Beach every day, and sometimes even in the middle of the day, not just during traffic hours, things slow down, speed up. The hybrid system is often doing the on-off thing quite a bit in those circumstances also. You're going to save a lot of gas in those circumstances. So brilliant propulsion system, brilliant hybrid, no turbos, making that aspect at least simpler. On the inside, I have decent enough space. Feels certainly mid-size here, big mid-size, I would rather say. I have here an easy-to-use infotainment, I must say. It's on the easier side. I don't say that about many infotainments. Toyota worked hard, I think, to simplify this, and good job, Toyota. The digital dash is basic, but it's digital, I must say, and it's kind of like crammed with information in small writing. The climate control, apart, buttons, you use your muscle memory, right, to lower and raise the temperature or do any other action, and you keep your eyes on the road. This is a significant safety benefit, which is under-reported by my peers. Plenty of room sitting behind myself. Huge room, huge. That trunk is pretty darn big, bigger than any trunk you'll get in any sedan. Sitting in front here, I must say the seats are comfortable, all right? The leather quality is decent. And this was not always the case with Toyota. Their seats have always been a little bit too, like, I don't know, concave, and you're kind of like this, and your lower back lacks support here. It's not too bad, and with the lumbar support, it really puts it over the top. The wind and road noise is good, I would say. For a mid-size, it's in the good average, though it's not spectacular. I mean, a Honda Accord is as good and costs way less, so that has to be noted. Well, you do get the JBL sound system, which plays really well, and you get that. Once again, as soon as you're in these higher technologies, and I experienced that for myself when I was buying electric or hybrid electric, or anytime you put electric in there, boy, do you ever want a peace of mind. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the car I did for my electric car, because I wanted a peace of mind in terms of that propulsion system. You do get that peace of mind with Toyota. In fact, you get it everywhere. Ross makes the extremely relevant remark, made in Japan by the finest technical workforce on the planet. Yes, the Japanese are still number one, and you feel it. This is just well put together. There's some Lexus-y feel here sometimes. Like, it feels like cheap Lexus, if you want, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. But of course, the price is kind of high. $62,000 for this vehicle. Well, you can get a mid-size SUV for that price, equipped similarly. And I'm feeling $56,000. It's true you're going to be saving a lot of gas, which not many of his competitors can say, but there are some that can say that. I must say I'm a little bit put off by that price. Depends on how you feel about that. You do get that long-term reliability, which is so hard to factor in terms of just how much is the peace of mind worth, especially if you're going to purchase. Which brings us to the recommendation. I would certainly, if you're leasing, I think you can shop elsewhere. You can shop this vehicle, but you can also shop elsewhere. But on the purchase, it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, you just there's a Canadian reviewer that says park your money at Bank of Toyota, and everything else is just going to be fine. And I won't take credit for that great line. It is a great line. And that's exactly what it is. You feel so comfortable on that. When you're ready to shell out your money, and on this vehicle it's going to be over $1,000 a month payments for the purchase over 60 months. Wow, you just don't want any problems, right? The first 200,000 kilometers, you just can't be at that garage. And I think Toyota's well placed to deliver. So the classic review of a Toyota product, right? Expensive but reliable. And that is the review. By the way, if you like this review, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. And if you really like it, well then of course, you should subscribe. And that is it.